Hello, good morning, welcome. You're watching World Business Report here on News 9 Live. I'm Krishna Kumar. We begin with some breaking news in the world of corporate realty and co-working. WeWork, the so-called pioneering flexible office space provider, has now gone towards filing bankruptcy. This is a stunning turn of events for a company that was once hailed as a disruptor in the office space industry and had huge, ambitious expansion plans. Many of them were even executed. But now, with its filing for bankruptcy, questions arise about the future, of course. It's thousands of employees and the countless investors who poured money and resources into this once upon a time high-flying startup. Moving on to Tesla, the pioneering automotive company, which is set to make a major move to Germany because it is set to unveil a plant that will produce an affordable new Tesla model in a state-of-the-art capacity. This announcement is poised to not only reshape the future of electric mobility, but also challenge the traditional automotive landscape as well. Details of Tesla's latest endeavor and its potential impact on the global automotive industry in this Reuters report. Take a look.
Tesla has big plans for its German factory. The electric vehicle maker intends to make a new model there that will be much more affordable. That's according to a Reuters source on Monday, who says the car will be priced at €25,000, or less than $27,000. It's not clear when production will begin, and there was no comment from Tesla. Billionaire boss Elon Musk visited the plant near Berlin on Friday after attending an AI summit in the UK. The source says he informed staff of plans to build the low-cost model there. Musk has long teased his intent to sell a cheaper Tesla. It's critical to his plan to hit 20 million deliveries per year by 2030. But last year he appeared to shelve the project, saying he hadn't mastered the technology required to cut production costs. However, sources told Reuters in September that the company was closing in on a breakthrough. It's aiming to die-cast almost the entire lower section of its cars in one go, a move that could drastically reduce complexity and costs.
And we will keep it with Elon Musk here on the show. He has ignited a fierce debate over the role of independent researchers and their work. Musk's recent actions are being seen by some as a war on independent researchers and sparking concerns about transparency and accountability in his own ventures. More in this report.
A battle is brewing between Elon Musk's X and social media researchers. And researchers say that's helping spread misinformation during real-time events, like Hamas's attack on Israel and the Israeli airstrikes in Gaza. Before Musk bought Twitter last year, the platform was a hotbed for academic activity. It was a valuable source of information on politics and current events, and researchers say its data was easily accessible. Fast forward to now. At least 100 studies about the platform have been cancelled, suspended, or changed, following a series of steps by Musk to restrict public data collection. That's according to more than a dozen interviews and a survey of 167 researchers done by the Coalition for Independent Technology Research at Reuters' request. The most important method was a tool that gave researchers data on 10 million tweets per month. Now, they have to pay up to $42,000 a month for that kind of data. The same survey also showed that researchers fear being sued by X over their findings, following X's lawsuit against the Center for Countering Digital Hate, a nonprofit, in July. It had published critical reports saying X was failing to remove hateful content and profiting from it. X accused the CCDH of improperly accessing data on the platform and promoting false claims to drive away its advertisers. In an interview with Reuters, CCDH Chief Executive Imran Ahmed said the organization stood by its research.
The work that we do is really valuable for members of the public, legislators and regulators all around the world who are trying to find ways to reduce the impact of hate speech, because it does lead to real world violence. It leads to the normalization of the idea that it's okay to target and hurt even gay people, black people, Jewish people. But also advertisers have found it really valuable because they want to put their ads in spaces that aren't horrifically toxic, that aren't full of hate speech.
Researchers say they have limited options now to study X, and that makes users on the platform more vulnerable to hate speech and disinformation. One told Reuters research ahead of 2024, a major election year globally, is severely challenged. Musk did not immediately respond to a request for comment, and an X representative declined to comment. The company has previously said that nearly all content views are of healthy posts.
Now, moving on to RyanAir, Europe's largest low-cost airline. It has announced record-breaking annual profits as ticket fares soared to new heights. What are the factors behind RyanAir's remarkable success, and what does it mean for the global airline industry? This report tells you all about it.
RyanAir on Monday forecast a record annual profit and for the first time said it plans to pay investors a regular dividend. That's after fares soared 24% during the summer season. Europe's largest airline by passenger numbers earned $2.3 billion over the 6 months to the end of September, which was almost 60% ahead of its previous record for the period. It now expects a small loss over the coming 6 months, which would still leave it on track for record annual earnings of up to $2.2 billion. The Irish firm took advantage of the travel boom that followed lockdowns in the global health crisis, having increased capacity far faster than most rivals. Following these results, CEO Michael O'Leary announced plans to pay shareholders a regular dividend. Next year's will amount to around $430 million, split into 2 payments. For the following years, the airline said it plans to return approximately 25% of the after-tax profit posted the previous year. The company's CFO said Ryanair's third quarter was looking relatively good, with fares ahead of last year by a mid-teens % margin.
Now, on to the latest in the world of tech and dating apps, where the shares of Bumble took a nosedive after a game-changing decision by the company's founder. In a surprising turn of events, Bumble's founder decided to relinquish the role of CEO, causing a seismic shift in the company's leadership and subsequently a significant ripple effect in the stock market. This report tells you more.
Dating app operator Bumble is swiping right on a new CEO, while investors are swiping left on the stock. The company said Monday Slack CEO Lidiane Jones will take over in January from Bumble founder Whitney Wolfe Herd, who will remain executive chair. News of the shakeup sent shares down as much as 10% to a record low Monday, though the stock recovered some losses by midday. Wolfe Herd launched the company in 2014 after an acrimonious departure from Match Group-owned Tinder, which she had co-founded. Bumble stood out in the industry by allowing women to make the first move. The company has faced pressure to grow due to unrest in some markets such as Eastern Europe and competition from larger rival Match. The stock has plunged about 80% since going public in February 2021. Analysts at Evercore said in a note they viewed the CEO's departure as a near to midterm headwind for business operations and a negative for overall company morale. Bumble reports quarterly results Tuesday.
Now, this one is a big deal as far as the global hospitality industry is concerned. Hilton Grand Vacations is now all set to buy out Blue Green Vacations in a deal worth $1.5 billion. What are the details of this major acquisition and its potential impact on the timeshare and vacation ownership sector? And how will this deal reshape the landscape of vacation offerings for travelers like you and me and timeshare enthusiasts as well? This Reuters report has all of that and more. Have a look. images really make me want to take a ski vacation in Europe this winter. But for now, I'm here on the show and we move on with it, which is a remarkable effort to revive the tourism industry. Egypt is making strategic moves in the midst of the ongoing Gaza war. So how is Egypt navigating the challenges of a nearby war zone and taking steps to boost its own tourism sector? What are the measures being taken and the potential impact on Egypt's economy? This Reuters report tells you all that.
Egypt has begun offering incentives to help support its tourism industry in the southern Sinai on the Red Sea. Speaking on Monday, Egypt's tourism minister Ahmed Issa said the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza had begun to affect the sector.
So far, the impact is on the customers who have bought the regional products, because the tourism sector in Israel is actually practically shut down. So this is where we're seeing the most significant impact. But in the grand scheme of things, the overall size of bookings, that represents less than 10% of the total number of bookings in Egypt.
Tourism is a key source of scarce foreign currency for Egypt, which was on track to earn more than $13 billion this year and hit a target of 15 million visitors. But ratings firm S&P Global warned on Monday that a fall in tourism due to the conflict could cause significant problems. The impact is likely to also be felt in countries such as Lebanon and Jordan, due to travellers postponing or cancelling holidays to the Middle East and North Africa. Although Issa insisted tourists were committed to Egypt.
We're hearing from them that as people realize the geopolitics and that the Red Sea resorts are far and away from the what's happening in the region, we're seeing significant escalation again to the normal levels of the reservations for the season December to February.
Egypt is offering an extra $500 of incentives per flight landing in Sharm el-Sheikh and is working closely with wholesalers, retailers and airliners. Sharm el-Sheikh is about 225 miles south of Sinai's northern Mediterranean coast, which borders the Gaza Strip. The Palestinian group Hamas carried out a surprise attack on southern Israel from Gaza on October 7th, killing 1,400 people and seizing around 240 hostages in the deadliest day in Israel's history. It triggered an Israel-Hamas war that has seen the heaviest Israeli bombardment of Gaza in 75 years of conflict. According to the Hamas-run health authorities, more than 10,000 Palestinians have been killed.
Absolutely incredible how Egypt is trying to revive its tourism in the middle of war. But for now, we move on here on the show to Wall Street, which is riding a wave of optimism as it is extending its winning streak, and all eyes are now on the upcoming US Fed Reserve speakers. The bulls continued their charge on Wall Street, all major indices notching up yet another day of gains after Thursday and Friday last week. Monday night too was absolutely smashing. Investors seem to be fueled by both strong corporate earnings reports and the economic data coming out from the US, leaving Wall Street awash with green. This Reuters report tells you all about the latest buoyancy on Wall Street and also gives you a comprehensive analysis of what the Fed speakers have to say as we continue to follow this roller coaster ride. Take a look.
U.S. stocks closed slightly higher on Monday as investors awaited guidance from a host of Federal Reserve policymakers later in the week on the central bank's policy path, with a large amount of bond supply also due to hit the market. Last week, equities posted their biggest weekly percentage gain in about a year. On Monday, the Dow added 0.1%, the S&P 500 climbed nearly 0.2%, and the Nasdaq 0.3%. The Fed is expected to hold interest rates steady for the next 6 months, according to the CME FedWatch tool. FM Acceleration Senior Portfolio Manager Francisco Bedeau doesn't see them changing anytime soon either.
I think they're pretty much set where they are right now. They took a pause until the last meeting, and I believe that they're going to continue to pause for a while longer. That's not to say that if inflation does uptick in a serious way, they won't take any action. I think they are credible. And, they have to be credible because they need to manage future expectations on inflation and so on.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaks Wednesday with remarks from the Fed presidents of New York and Dallas on tap this week, too. Stocks making moves included Dish Network, which lost nearly 40% of its value and fell to a 25-year low after the pay TV provider missed third-quarter revenue estimates and said the CEO will step down from the role. And Bumble, which fell 4%, as the dating app operator said its founder and CEO, Whitney Wolfe Herd, will step down as chief executive.
Right away from Wall Street and the markets to a groundbreaking fusion of music and technology. The Beatles have made headlines once again, and this time by releasing a new artificial intelligence-powered song featuring the unmistakable voice of the late John Lennon. This innovative creation has the world buzzing with excitement and curiosity about the possibilities and, of course, ethical considerations in the realm of AI-generated artistry. More in this report. Have a look.
I know it's true. It's all because of you. And if I make it through, it's all because of you.
Well, John Lennon wrote Imagine, but looks like we don't have to imagine anymore. It's all out there for us to see. In the meanwhile, in a remarkable breakthrough in the world of medical technology, Swiss-designed tech is now enabling Parkinson's patients to regain their mobility. What is this new tech all about? How is it changing lives and allowing those with Parkinson's to walk again? This Reuters report tells you all about it.
Parkinson's disease patient Marc Gauthier was confined to his house due to debilitating mobility issues. But it all changed after he became the first person to receive a new Swiss-designed implant.
It changed my life because now I can leave my home, run errands. I even go on foot to exercise.
Parkinson's is a degenerative neurological disease that causes symptoms such as tremors, stiffness, and difficulty with balance and coordination. Global estimates showed more than 8.5 million people suffered from the disease in 2019. 63-year-old Gauthier received a neuroprosthetic composed of an electrode field placed against his spinal cord, combined with an electrical impulse generator under the skin of his abdomen. The device stimulates his spinal cord to activate his leg muscles. Dr. Grégoire Courtine of the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Lausanne co-led the project.
The technology is a neurostimulator that delivers precise pulses of electricity to the region of the spinal cord involved in the control of leg muscles. And the pulses are delivered at the correct location with the correct timing in order to reproduce the way the spinal cord is activated naturally in order to walk.
Courtine said the electrical pulses delivered to Gauthier's spinal cord reproduced the way he would walk naturally. The implant, designed by Netherlands-based tech company called Onward Medical, is unique in its ability to target the spinal cord in a specific and flexible way. The findings suggest the technology could be used more widely in advanced Parkinson's patients. Neurosurgeon Jocelyn Bloch carried out the surgery on Gauthier.
With this therapy, if people can gain more confidence and can go out and have a better social interaction and do more things, it's an enormous plus in the daily activity and the quality of life.
South Korea's legendary music sensation, G-Dragon, now finds himself in the midst of a controversy as he faces questioning over alleged drug use. The K-pop superstar's status in the industry has made this incident a hot topic of discussion in Korea, as well as all K-pop fans across the world, including the many right here in India. More in this Reuters report.
There is no truth to the charge of drug-related crime. I came to reveal the truth, so I will get to the investigation first, rather than making a long statement now.
So that's what G Dragon says. Let's see what comes out of that questioning. Meanwhile, keeping it with the world of entertainment, visually impaired actors, have taken the lead in a new Netflix adaptation of All the Light We Cannot See. What is this all about? Have a look.
I thought it would be better by virtue of being authentic.
Where are you?
Do you see I made the joke?
Papa, in order to be called a joke, it must be funny.
The microphone is connected to this, the transmitter, and I sometimes use it to add my voice to the babble of voices.
What do you say when you speak?
I say, isn't the world a beautiful place?
And then you ask, so why are we destroying it?
How do you find two low vision, girls and women or blind, because they're not at the typical agencies. They're not in the places we normally cast out of those pools. They are unrepresented because they have been underrepresented historically. We found two needles in that haystack, and I'm forever grateful that we did.
I think often if people are watching a movie or a show where someone who they know has sight is playing blind, it's a sort of distraction because you're constantly looking for clues. With this, it's direct and you're straight into the actual reality of their condition.
One moment I'm in Africa, the next I'm in Cuba, I'm in Australia, and then damn, the battery's gone and I've got to go down to the basement to get a new one.
All right, then, moving on. We keep talking about brain drain in the context of India, and we've been talking about it since the 1990s. Guess which other country is experiencing a similar phenomenon? Africa's largest economy, Nigeria. Nigeria is suffering an exodus of young professionals and a punishing brain drain for opportunities overseas. The ArtX Lagos Art Fair has been promoting talks around such issues through nostalgia. ArtX's founder said that this year's theme, the dialogue, was carefully chosen to spark discussions around critical issues like brain drain in Nigeria. More in this report.
For lawyer Faith Okpai, the ArtX Lagos Fair was an opportunity to travel back in time. This installation, The Hands That Remain, evokes a Nigerian sitting room from decades past. It was curated by Papa Omotayo and Max Kalaiwo and aims to speak to nostalgia and memories of Nigeria. That as a way of igniting conversations about how immigration affects those who leave and those who stayed behind.
It's the reality for people in their 20s and 30s, right, to seek opportunities. We also know that there are opportunities here and around Africa. So either way, it's a time to embrace the opportunities that are there.
Nigeria is currently suffering an exodus of young professionals in a punishing brain drain. The phenomenon known as japa, meaning to flee in the Yoruba language, impacts nearly every sector and is stretching an already weak healthcare system. ArtX's founder Tokine Peterside Shribik said this year's theme, the dialogue, was carefully chosen to spark discussions around such critical issues.
As a team, we looked around and we said to ourselves, there's so much happening. Whoever you are, whatever your level, there's a challenge somewhere. And how can we pull people into a place where we can reflect, we can converse, we can learn,
and we can together start to think about how we wish to move ourselves forward, how we wish to move our societies forward.
ArtX Lagos is an annual event and attracts guests from across Africa and beyond.
And with that, it's a wrap here on this edition of World Business Report. Thank you so much for watching. Don't go anywhere. Keep it with News 9 Live.